Alright, this video is meant for somebody specific, a couple people specific. A couple people I know are going to put people on that I know from my past, old friends, to watch this, so I'm just going to say something. You know, at certain points I was at my low where I was stealing stuff, scheming, scamming, middleman. Then other points I was dope dealing for real. I was going to Baltimore picking up a lot, cutting a lot. And how I would cut it was through bags like these. When I was in a rush, I used a bag like this. See, the holes in it, they're a little bigger so I can cut it a little bit quicker. Cut heroin a little bit quicker. This one, it's a lot smaller, a lot more fine piece of hair cut. See my hands back here, you can barely see it. Now, in those, after you put about, a quarter kilo, 9 ounces of heroin through there, and about, anywhere 12 to 18 ounces of cut, little tiny tears happen in that bag. Now, that ain't any big deal, because somebody ain't used heroin. If they're snorting it, it takes about a 20th of a gram, about 50 milligrams, to kill them. Takes about 20 milligrams or so if they're shooting it of pure, of raw, to kill somebody. Okay? 50 milligrams of heroin to kill somebody. It takes 1 milligram for somebody that doesn't have a tolerance of fentanyl to kill them. Okay? The fentanyl patches that they give at the pharmacy, the highest they go up to is 100 micrograms. 100 micrograms is 1 milligram. Okay? See what I'm saying? 1 milligram. That's like a grain of salt, a grain of sugar. One little grain makes it through that. That's somebody that's going to die. Each bag that gets passed through there. So if you're making, typically, right, 2.5 grams is a 50 bag brick. Y'all might think it's a 1/10 of a gram of it and how it's bagged up. Okay, you don't know anything about dope if you think dope is bagged up in a 1/10 of a gram. Typically 20 bags make up 1 gram. See what I'm saying? So, all those bags that get passed through there, each one that has a little granule sugar, a little granule salt, that's going to be one that somebody dies off of. The 44th person that I've known under the age of 35 died just a day or so ago. Now, I go on the website of the regional jail, check and see who's died recently. I mean, to see who's been put in jail. Excuse me, sorry, lots on my mind. See who's been put in jail recently. This particular guy had been in jail. I'm assuming that he had been in jail for a good bit of time, had his tolerance go down, and the number one time for addicts, whenever they are at most risk for overdosing, is whenever they first get out of rehab, whenever they first get out of jail or prison, because their tolerance is down. They want to keep getting high like they used to get high, but they don't have that tolerance to do it anymore. I've known more people to die from that than anything else. Now, the certain people involved in certain circles. There's a guy in the circle, people I knew, goes by Lil something. There's a rapper that goes by the same name, Lil something. And, okay, he testified on my case. He's one of the people that testified on my case. Why you think he keeps going to jail but he doesn't do any time? He tells on everybody. But at a certain point, getting arrested so many times, they make him spend a little bit of time, maybe a year, maybe 2. Sometimes it might piss off the wrong people. He spent a little bit of time in there. Okay, there's another guy. Anybody who really knows me knows this. When I was kicked out, I was forced to become a dope dealer because I was sleeping in my car. So what I would do was I'd find people that like to get high, and I'd hang out a little too late. Maybe give them a bag for free, a bag cheaper, wait until it's too late to hang and be like, hey, you mind if I crash here? And then eventually I'd find places that I could stay in exchange for a little bit extra dope. This guy's dad, this guy's dad let me stay in their house. Now everybody else, I mean, straight up, this was H. It was going on back then. I was selling these bags. They were Ziploc bags. They contained about double, triple what everybody else was selling. I was selling for $50. For $40 a bag, my job was to never run out. And if I got running low, not to sell out, to keep enough for him in exchange for a room in his house. That's what was up. That was what I did. Now that guy, we'll call him D. Y'all know D. Okay. D, he's a cocky prick. Now, in the revenge video, when I talk about, I sent that message to people when I got out of jail, when I got out of prison, saying, hey, I heard you're talking all kinds of crazy stuff. Fight me. Fight me. I'll give you $1,000 if you whoop me. If you whoop me, you ain't got to give me nothing. You just to whoop me. And he said some petty message, nobody likes you. And yeah, wuss. And got a sack on you. You know you don't. Out there doing the same old stuff. We're going to try to spread them rumors, try to talk about, saying somebody killed somebody and everything else when you're doing the same stuff. Trying to accuse me killing somebody. Tell me I killed someone and everything else. You're doing the same thing, only at the time when I was doing it, it's a whole different set of circumstances. I gave somebody a room in my apartment. For actually being a full-on dope dealer who was doing the thing, who was going to Baltimore, bringing it back. I got a year in a program for letting somebody have a room in my apartment. 8 years, federal prison. Now, D got this woman in Southeast 20 years. He got her 20 years. Now, how'd he get her 20 years? Something y'all might not know. If you sell somebody a $10 bag of cocaine, heroin, whatever, dope, they call an ambulance. Ambulance responds. You're cool by the time the ambulance gets there, whatever. That's a 20-year mandatory minimum sentence in the federal system, which you have to serve 17 years on. D was with some hussy. It went around, got passed around the area. And she was driving him. He fell out in the car. She flagged down a cop. He called EMS. Before EMS got there, he woke back up. But because EMS was called, they considered that an OD. Well, they were told, you're going to tell us who you got that from. You're going to get years in prison. D told on who gave him the dope. That woman's doing 20-year sentence right now. Nobody died. He just fell asleep for a few minutes, woke back up. That's the truth. And just so y'all know, D's a punk. D ain't nothing. And if D's got a problem, D can come see me. I've done messaged him. Told him, whoop me, I'll give you $1,000. Come holler at me, D. You know who you are. Same with Lil, you know who you are too. Ain't nothing. Now what I'm saying to this person, who I'm really speaking to, who's a good dude, who I knew, who I looked at like a brother. I lived at, his dad's house. They looked at me. Being a dope dealer, when you're a user, you have highs and you have lows. When you have a connect in the type town I lived in, where there wasn't a whole lot of connects, when it's connects get hit, it gets dry for a while. It's not like a big city. He caught me when I was at my worst. His dad let me stay with them. This guy was like a brother to me. He wasn't doing that stuff then. He saw me at my worst. He was like a brother to me. He wasn't doing none of that then. Now, he's had ups and downs since then. And he don't want to be in what he's doing right now. Messages to you. I was in jail probably 4 or 5 months where I thought about how my tolerance would be down, how I'd get high for cheaper when I got out every day. I dreamed about it. But when I was in jail, I went a 135-pound junkie. I started lifting water bags, sheets tied with empty bottles of soda filled with water until I got respect. Now, the biggest guy in there, Red. Red was doing 17 years on a third time cocaine distribution charge. Red saw me put on about 20 pounds of muscle. He saw me put myself back together. He told me, hey, come work out with me. These other people are crash dummies. These other people are clowns. Now, D, he thinks because he spent a little bit of jail time, he's hard or something. He ain't hard. I know about people he's gotten in fights with. He ain't nothing. He's a clown. He likes to be a little run around, wannabe hard boy who middleman's dope deals. He ain't a dope dealer. He's a little broke punk. Anyway, we'd watch MMA every day. UFC Unleashed reruns. And he told me one day, you should do that when you get out. I'm like, nah, man, I couldn't do that. He's like, yeah, if nothing else, it's good people. He said, man, don't be like me. I'm doing 17 years. I'll be in my mid-50s by the time I get out. He says, you don't want to do this, man. He says, if nothing else, find a good set of people when you get out. When that thumbnail you see, Ryan Hall, UFC fighter, Ultimate Fighter winner, Conor McGregor versus Uriah Faber, Team USA versus Team Europe, he's the winner. Okay, trained at a seminar with him. Robert Drysdale, he was Frank Mir, Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, he was their jiu-jitsu coach. Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the Polish girl, he was her jiu-jitsu coach. He's the tall guy in the picture. Crazy. The guy who looks like a Cuban dictator, Murillo Santana, man, he's one of the baddest in the game. Now, me with the two guys where I'm in the middle, the one is Paulo Santana. He's a world champion. That's my coach. I'm blue belt under him. I'm a brown belt in judo under Tariq Monair. It's the big group picture. He's a former Olympian. Now, brown belt in judo, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, also box, under solid people, under the top in the game. Instead of doing mixed martial arts under somebody mediocre, I found the best in each one. I read George St. Pierre's biography. Well, it was kind of biography when I was in prison, and it made me mix my own martial arts. So that's what I did. And the people that I train with have my back. If something bad happens, I call them up. They'll be there to help me. I'm not talking about somebody, harass me or something. I'll smash somebody like that. Anybody from my past, forget about it. What are they? They're nothing. I've been training twice a day for 5 years now. Power lifted in prison. In prison, that's where I built a lot of respect, self-respect, got respect from others. It's where I built myself up. Once I got out, it's where I continued it. I left everybody in the past behind because that's what I had to do to get off this stuff. I'm telling you, if you can stay off it for one day, if you can come in there not glassy-eyed, not nodding out, not crazy looking. You know where I train judo at? It's local. So what, man? It's a room full of good dudes. Now, you got a problem? You can call one of us. For real, you can call one of us. If you show up. When they talk about NA, AA meetings keep coming back for me, that's what training was for me. Keep coming back. Show up another day, train another day. You can do that. And then, there ain't an addict alive. I don't know you. I don't know what you gotten involved in since then, but I never known you to be a big dope boy or nothing like that. No disrespect. It's a good thing because you ain't going to end up in federal prison. You ain't going to have to end up in jail like I did, making stupid decisions, watching TV and movies and thinking I'm going to be one of the movie characters doing the thing like that. They ain't retired dope dealer, you see. Man, show up, not high, come train, then come train again, then come train again. Leave a little less than people in the past, one by one. I said it's the 44th friend I've known to die. I mean, man, you want to be next? I'm so numb to it now, it sucks, but like at this point, it's like, shoot, it's doing drugs. What'd you expect? I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You specifically, I'm talking about, you were a really good friend to me, man. You were a really good friend to me. And I mean this. If you show up there, if you show up, you're not high, and you train with us, and you keep on training with us, there's not a thing on the planet I would not do for you. And there's not a thing on the planet Tarek wouldn't do for you. That is like a mentor. He's like one of the best people on the planet. And same with the rest of the people in the class. I mean, it can be a place that changes your whole life. I mean, for real. Why not? Instead of being known, my mom always said you are who your friends are, and I never understood that. And by that, I thought, well, shoot, I want to be the baddest dope dealer I can be. So I tried to find the baddest dope dealer and, be part of that bunch. Well, once they got knocked off and they were in prison, I didn't have Connect. I still had the habit. Ended up at the bottom of the barrel once again. In this, ain't anybody getting knocked off. Ain't anybody going to prison. In this, you're going to be bad as you can be. You're not a drug addict, dealer, whoever on the planet that ain't pissed somebody off. Sorry, I got my mutt dog in the background. He likes to whine a lot. But anyway, like I said, in the background of these pictures, got Lucas Lepre and Paulo Santana in the one picture with me. Paulo's world champion. Lucas is a 9-time world champion, known as one of the best to ever do it. Robert Drysdale, Frank Mir, Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, and Joanna Jacek's coach. Ryan Hall, current UFC fighter. He's in there too. Murillo Santana's a bad dude. I mean, these are the people I'm getting to train with now. Don't you want a life like that? It's wild, it's crazy, it's full of fun and adventure. It ain't some, oh, we were so high and we ran around town and we did this. I had those times too, but I mean, wouldn't it be cooler to be training with killers? You can do it, ain't no reason you can't do it. All you gotta do is just show up one day. I know I'm just talking in this thing. I started a YouTube channel a month ago, 4 weeks ago actually. And it's up to almost 400 people now. It's growing quick. It's going to be something big. It's going to be something special. Every Friday I'm going to have martial arts techniques with Paulo. He's a world champion. Tarek, he's an Olympian. We're going to grow this thing up. You can be part of that too. All you got to do is show up one day. And all the people that watch this regularly, I got people in Australia I'm friends with now, people in Brazil, Dopesick Studios, Brazil, number of other countries that I've become friends with. All y'all gotta do, all you gotta do is you've gotta show up one day. Just be right in the head. And you can be part of everything else. I mean, I'm sure you got crazy stories too. Shoot, I'll show you how to do what I'm doing. Make these crazy thumbnails of these crazy stories so I just ain't been in prison. You might have some stories yourself, be able to do something like this. I don't want you to have to live that. I mean, you were a really good friend to me. I looked at you like a brother. Still look at you like that, man. I mean, damn, when my chips were down, you were there. So, I ain't downing you for where you're at right now, nothing like that. But, just from what I've overheard, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but it sounds like you're down on yourself. You don't have to be. I was down on myself too. I mean, I'm best person on the planet to have your back. I've got your freaking back, man. I've got it. If you want out, show up. That's the only place people are going to see me. They're going to hang out with me. I go to the gym on the mats twice a day, 2 hours a day for almost 5 years straight. And that's where the people I know are. So for all regular people watching, I'm talking to somebody specific from my life, so it's a little bit out of the norm. But 44th person I knew died today, and this is somebody who I consider family to me. We might not have seen each other, we might not have talked to each other in a really long time, but there was a time, when I had nobody. Never judged me. And I'm not judging you now, not a bit. And I'm saying, when you didn't judge me then, I ain't judging you now. I can pull you out of this, man. For real, all you gotta do is show up. And at the very least, You learn how to smash anybody you got a problem with. And then if you want to go back to it, go back to it. But wouldn't it be nice to never have to walk down the street, walk anywhere, have to look over your shoulder? You know, if you make eye contact with somebody you have a problem with, they're probably going to run from you because they know you'll smash them. Dude I'm talking about, he'll run from me. So will Lil, you know who what. That's what it is. So, you know, just come in one day, train, just like an NA meeting, keep coming back. For me, training is my NA meeting, so that's what it is. You know, I love you, man. It's been a long time. We ain't talked to each other in probably a decade, but you know, I don't forget. I don't forget one bit. So just leave it at that. It is what it is. You know, come in sometime, man. It's been a long time. I'd like to catch up with you if nothing else. Just come in one day when you're having a good day, nothing else going on. You know, learn something. You have a fun time. Get you a good workout in. You want to start lifting, getting in all that too, you know a little bit about that too. Strongest white guy at Petersburg. I worked out with an all-black crew, kind of funny enough with that. It's just people from my area. It's the people that let me lift their group quick enough, so it is what it is, Justin Berger, dude from my area too, got me involved in the group. But anyway, holler at me one day. Show up.